So that's gonna be the hard one. They've agreed to be able to do the Odal project within the time frame of the 2-month shutdown, so at least we don't have an additional 4 days on top of that, but 4 days inside of 2 months is a very small portion. So, like I said, I've been working frantically with that, talking with the engineers, because I know that's gonna really affect our businesses that fly out daily, the tenants who fly out daily, and those who use the airport.
What was the time frame on that?
We don't know yet. Basically, we're 30 days out from when we receive the plans. That'll be the bid time, and then however long it takes them to get started. My best guess, if it were to come out here in early September, I would think, November, December timeframe. Which then that adds a whole new ball for if we get bad weather coming in. It's really tough to lay concrete and snow, so.
On the other hand, that's when fewer people are flying.
Very true. Very
So I
true.
was gonna ask about expansion, contraction concerns, whether we could pour it in January.
They have
Or does it
different.
to be in June, July, August.
I believe they have different types of concrete set separate, the set differently in the different temperatures. And so we'll be, like I said, once we get the engineering reports, we'll know a lot more. And right now, it's all just discussions and pulling our hair out, trying to figure out how this is gonna work. So hopefully it'll be a non-issue, but I think everyone does need to be prepared for it. On top of that, the Pilots Lounge and 24-hour restrooms we'll be able to discuss in the next action item, number 7.
Number 7, discussion and consideration of the FBO proposed participation with the Pilots Lounge.
If you notice in the additional paperwork that I did give you, there's a Guthrie Edmond Regional Airport Pilots Lounge proposal. It's been drafted up between the FBO and the airport. And this, we've been able to come up through discussions of what will be needed and how we're gonna get to a point where we end. Currently, the funding is in the budget, pending approval from the city of Guthrie. City of Edmond's already approved their budget, and which will allocate a certain amount of dollars to be able to build it. What we are trying to do is figure out between the FBO and the airport, how it's gonna be managed and who's gonna take over. And basically, through this document, if you consider the room as being built with the airport terminal as it was, there'd be no change. We take care of, we being the city, takes care of electric, utilities and cleaning, and the FBO takes care of water and gas utilities. On top of that, he's agreed to provide satellite or cable television services in both Pilots Lounge and the airport terminal. That'll be an added benefit to terminal users and transient pilots being able to just watch the Weather Channel on a national platform, or be able to check the local news. And we do get pilots that sit here for as much as 8 to 10 hours a day waiting. They'll drop off their boss who goes into a meeting, they're stuck here. So this will give them a place that they can kind of go be in without having to be sitting in a room with the general public milling around all the time. Additionally, he's agreed to donate $100 to the Guthrie Edmond Aviation Association, who's furnishing the Pilots Lounge. The association's just working with local businesses, local pilots, users of the airport, and putting together the furnishings, decorations, all that. There's been a great pouring of people interested in wanting to help, as far as people who are decorators by trade, wanting to come in and donate their time and services, and helping us make it a really classy joint. So, very excited about that. Behind that page, you'll see the plans as estimated and drawn by the engineers. Gives you just kind of a quick look of what it will look like. It will have basically a large kitchenette area with fridge. The fridge will be able to have an ice maker and water as well. That'll provide us water for the building. We can have cups out there, because right now we don't have a water fountain or area for just getting clean drinking water. So that'll provide that, along with a toilet and a shower room. There'll be separate rooms allowing for use of both at the same time or separately. And the Pilots Lounge. Behind that page is just a comparison of services and where we're at, and what the FBO has offered over the past years. We have 2012 services offered by the FBO compared to the 2014 services offered. And then an area FBO comparison that kind of shows where we sit amongst other FBOs in the area. Just kind of gives you a general idea of where we're at. Definitely tell we've come a long way. There's room for improvement, but we're definitely moving in the right direction.
On this page, in the second column, the two prices are cash and charge, is that what it is?
Self-service and full service. So if they're gonna come by, and full service being if they came to your hangar in a truck and filled you up, or out on the ramp and filled you up, that'd be the second charge, the higher charge. Whereas the smaller charge would be if they actually pulled up to the pump and just fueled themselves.
Self-serve price when you go to the big tank.
Yep.
Do you have any comparison for the people who fly in and take fuel and leave in terms of our response time, and you have any measure of that?
We have no.
In terms of income to the, making an inviting place to stop and so forth?
Saying like how much fuel they purchase here?
Well, no, how
versus
much,
they do in the community?
how they feel about their service, do they get fast service, et cetera? By whatever.
We don't have a way to measure that at this time. I'm sure we could come up with a survey. I've seen that where you go into airports and there's surveys available. We can absolutely come up with that. If that's something you'd like to help me out
Well,
on,
I
we can
just
build
wondered
it.
because, we're in a competitive world, and it'd be nice to know where we
Absolutely.
stand, whether we want to pursue it right now or not.
Absolutely. It's one of those that we don't have a lot of control over what services the FBO does offer. The way the contracts are written, we have a lot of room to suggest and say this is what other people are offering. We can get into a fight with the FBO on services, but Glenn Crabtree's been working with us over the past few years to be able to help increase the services, and it's coming out of his pocket. And so
Yeah.
it's
September
it's a give and
20th,
take. We're definitely-
September 20th is coming up, and we have a lot of people walking through the door, and maybe we want to know how they feel. Many of them will be pilots,
Sure, absolutely.
not necessarily commercial ones that are going to buy 600 gallons of fuel.
Sure, absolutely. I think a survey could answer a lot of questions we had. It'd be forming the questions in the way that we need to, what information we're trying to track and gather.
Just FYI, I probably couldn't get it done that quickly, but UCO's marketing classes sometimes take on those projects at no charge.
Sure. That'd be a great idea.
Class project.
Absolutely.
As a board member, I'd volunteer if you want to formulate something before then. I could be available
Wonderful, thank you.
if wanted or needed.
I believe that was
It is an action
item on the FBO proposal for the pilot's lounge, so do I have a motion to accept what we've got laid out here?
I'd make that motion. I think we're heading that way.
I'll second it, yeah.
Okay. Any discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Gary, you got any comments?
No, yeah, not really. Glad to be here today.
Glad to see you.
Yeah.
Chuck?
I'm glad to be anywhere. Truth of the matter. I was at Boomerang Restaurant downtown Guthrie, and one of our trolleys pulled up, and a young man about my age got out of the deal and had his wife and two daughters, and they were dressed a little better than most people come from the farmer's market to Boomerang. And so I went over and shooting off the side of my shoulder, I said, I bet y'all just flew into Guthrie Edmond Regional Airport. He said, I did. How did you know? And I said, well, y'all folks not dressed the way we dress. But
We're all kind of boots.
he bragged and thought, what a neat little airport, and he had some questions, and I referred him, to Justin, and, wanted to know about rents and stuff like that, and I told him, if I told you, I'd probably tell you wrong, but I said, Justin will take you by the hand, but he said, I'm very impressed. Said the airport was neat and clean, everything was placed, and just pretty proud of it. Said the trolley ride was pretty good downtown.
There you go.
Anyway, so I'm always proud to hear that about our airport. And he wasn't crop dusting, he looked like he was dressed to go see somebody having a wedding at the, children's home. Yeah. So I was impressed. Good job by everybody.
Good to have an ambassador.
Huh?
I say it's good to have an ambassador.
Yeah, here you are. Here you are. I just asked him if he'd like to donate some money to If you enjoyed it that much, it'll be worth it.
Sure enough.
But he was very proud of our airport.
Give me a flyer.
Okay. Roger, you got?
Well, Mr. Braden, I apologize for not following the protocol and interspersing my comments as I go along, so subsequent meetings, I'll try to hold some of them to the end.
If you get too far out of line.
Or just whip him.
Yeah.
If you're like us older guys, when you got it on your mind, you better tell somebody.
Or you forget it.
Or you'll forget it.
Okay.
Were most of you planning to be here on the 20th?
Oh,
Yeah.
With the special hats Justin has prepared?
Special hats.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we can find someone with propeller or something, you know.
I was here last year.
Are we just gonna cook wieners again, or?
Talking with the bank, it looked like they were considering, doing, I wanna say it was some sort of barbecue. Stan, do you remember, or Gail? I talked to them, I think it's gonna be some sort of barbecue meat, whether it's gonna be a full-on hog or pig or something like that, along with having hot dogs.
And it's gonna be free like always?
Absolutely, absolutely.
We were getting some business about these little trucks, the food
Yeah.
trucks and stuff, and I don't know, I mean, they're not gonna donate.
Right.
When you hear their brakes come on, their cash register comes on too.
That's one thing we really try and do has been to make everything just free and open to the public. We really want people to come out and see what's going on at the airport.
Excuse me, I know I'm out of.
Go ahead.
What would be the, cause I'm just
I
thinking about it
relinquish-
and I better spit it out.
You can have one turn.
What, at the noon hour, what about one of those trucks being, available? I mean, would we have a problem? We have a lot of guys that get in vehicles and go somewhere and eat, I assume.
A food truck?
Yeah,
being out here at the airport?
I mean-
Last year we had one out here, and when we did the burger burn, as far as speaking for the group, I know we didn't have a problem last year. You know,
I'm
it's-
talking about
Every
regular
day.
lunch
Yeah,
every day for you
yeah,
guys.
every day, not.
Oh, having one come out here?
Yeah, cause there's one in town that I think would be all about that, and once, the first week might be a little slow, but once they knew they could go out there and get something, go back to an air-conditioned office, they might.
I definitely think that's something to look into.
Don't those guys just troll? I
Hey,
mean,
if we
they
can start,
pick out where they might want to be at 11:30 and go there.
That's
if we
exactly.
can make this the parking
If they
lot
get
they
nothing,
stop
they
at,
don't
I
come
don't see
back.
any reason why that would be a bad idea. Definitely something to look into.